All right, now this is a podcast all about film and TV with too many hosts with all the same old thoughts. I could take an hour. Just sit right there. We'll tell you all about that on Dual Redundancy tonight.
Oh my god!
I realize this is my old version. I had a more up to date, more in sync version, but I lost that one. Anyways, Friday night. Here we are. I'm David Allen. Another host is
John Berwick, and the third one is
Kyle Bridger. I will say that I was going to be Will to John's Jazzy Jeff, because he really is the DJ, and you can be Carlton.
I knew it was coming. I got my not unusual. I got the moves going. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Perfect.
Perfect. Yes, we are going to be talking about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in Bel-Air, because it's the reboot. Mm-hmm. It's the new version, but Will Smith is in it, technically. Mm-hmm. He's in it. We'll talk all about that reboot on Peacock. And then there was some sporting event this week. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about the commercials that we all forgot about already. We're going to be talking about instead some of the trailers, some of the movie trailers that premiered during the big game, because we are a movie and television and entertainment podcast. So we're going to break some of them down. But first, we have this first segment in just, John, what is it?
In and Out Points.
In or the out. In or the out. In, out, in, out, in, out. In or the out.
Yes, it is in and out points. Last week on the podcast, on our last one, we reacted to the Oscar nominations. And then since then, there's been a bunch of updates, which we're going to cover tonight for the big ceremony in March. The first one we're going to talk about, the hosts. We got not one, but 3 hosts for the big ceremony. Regina Hall, Amy Schumer, and Wanda Sykes. But there's a catch to all this. Each one will anchor their own separate hour. Schumer's going to start off the night, and then the second hour, we'll have another host, and then the third hour, the third host will close us out. All right, Kyle, initial thoughts. These 3 hosts and that structure of them emceeing their own hour.
It's kind of interesting. I mean, all 3 choices are unique. I think to the Oscars, I mean, it's kind of a strange choice to choose Amy Schumer. I feel like she's been out of the zeitgeist for a minute, but I guess maybe this may be her foray back into, the entertainment world. And Wanda Sykes I think Wanda Sykes and Regina Hall are both kind of like fringe figures in Hollywood. I wouldn't necessarily talk about them as being big players, but I love Regina Hall. I mean, I'm not too familiar with Wanda Sykes, but she does like little bit parts here and there in pretty much every kind of award show somewhere, So it'll be interesting to see. The thing about the hour long thing though is that some awards show, the host could be non-existent for large chunks of time. So I'm just curious who's gonna get the bigger parts here, or the bigger
because it sounds
showcase.
Like Amy Schumer is getting the first hour, because she's gonna have that opening monologue where it's like, drive my car, more like it's gonna be like very like stand up probably in the beginning with all the nominees. Punchline. But then it's like, well, Wanda Sykes is a stand up and comedian, and it's like, is she going to do that in hour 3 again? Like, what? It's almost, I'm not too familiar with Regina Hall, but it's like, would you get a host that maybe can, the song and dance person, and, maybe in the second hour, that's their thing to do a song and dance. But like, I don't know if these other hosts have those abilities. I don't know. I'm not too familiar, but Schumer did have a statement. She said, quote, "I'm not sure who thought this was a good idea, but I'm hosting the Oscars alongside Wanda Sykes and Regina Hall. I better go watch some movies." And I feel like
that's such a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
Like, thanks for nominating me, but who did that? That's dumb. Like, what?
Yeah. It's like the little self-deprecation going on? But it's like, I better go watch some movies. And it's like, yeah, well, I would like to have somebody that like likes movies, has maybe caught up with the movies, is a fan of movies, to talk about. I mean, maybe that was just a fun little thing.
Yeah, she might have just been saying that as a dumb little joke or something.
But yeah, it's just, you brought up Schumer. It's like, not everyone's cup of tea. Yeah, her last big movie I looked up was like 2018. She's been out for a bit here. I couldn't tell you what was Wanda's last movie role, at least. So it's just, but I mean, I just don't know I just don't know with these choices who like the demo of the what does the Oscars want demo wise with these hosts? Because it's like, maybe if they want.
Maybe they're trying to catch like lightning in a bottle with like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, but the thing with that is like the chemistry between them is what makes them funny. Maybe this is just trying to give some variety to the hour-long stuff.
And I would give you that with the chemistry aspect, where it's like, yeah, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, they've worked together for years. They have this back and forth. But like this, I don't think these three have ever worked together, and they're emceeing their own hour, so they're separate. So it's not the chemistry aspect, which is like, and it's just like, that's going to be like the theme with a lot of the things I'm going to be talking about with the Oscars tonight, where it's like, what does the Oscars want demo wise? I know they want people to watch, but like, who do they want to be watching? And because it's like, I don't know if like Schumer plays in the flyover states. Like, are they trying for that, or are they already they're giving up on that, and they're just going to be like, well, we want New York and LA. That's all we're going to get anyways. So
yeah, I don't know, because I feel like they already have a problem with people thinking they're like a posh entity and like they don't even care about us. They don't vote on any movies that I watch, kind of thing. So maybe you might be right. I don't know. Yeah.
What's interesting is they are not the first three considered, though. An article came out that the trio from Only Murders in the Building was considered. They were asked. We got Steve Martin, Martin Short, Selena Gomez, but scheduling conflicts got in the way. But come on, Disney. This is your show on Hulu. This is yours. Like, let them do it. Let them take a week or two off and do the Oscars here. Like, you have a hit show with Only Murders in the Building. This would get more publicity, more synergy. It's going to be this is like a big Emmy for your consideration ad right before the Emmys. Hey, remember these three together? Hey, remember them? Remember this show?
It could be, maybe that was just an excuse and they actually didn't want to do it, because again, with these award shows, it's like a thankless job. Yeah. I mean, every time somebody hosts, I mean, it's like, oh, they stink or whatever. But you know what I would be worried about is another like Anne Hathaway, James Franco situation happening out there,
It's possible. Yeah, I wonder how that would play out, though, because at least it'd be like, people would be like, what is happening? Like, people would be talking about, at least be curious of what's going on. I just don't understand, like, these ceremony dates are announced years before. We know the date probably of the 2024 Oscars. Why is finding the host always the last thing that they check off their list? Always, every year. They lock somebody in now for next year. Make them sign a contract. Because, like, I saw something that, like, Uproxx reported that, like, John Hamm, just as of last weekend, was in talks to host. Like, just as of last weekend. This stuff should have been, like, done already. Like, it's like a student waiting until, like, the last minute to do a homework assignment. Guys,
and then they
figure out your host.
Yeah, they have to rehearse and all that stuff. So, I don't know.
Yeah, and then there was all those rumors of Pete Davidson was in talks, and Zendaya and Tom Holland maybe would be a thing. And it's like, again, who is this show for? Because
we're all over the map here.
Because, okay, I get it. Tom Holland, Zendaya, the young demo, Spider-Man, the biggest movie. I get it. You want that, viewership. But Pete Davidson is not the same. People that like probably Pete Davidson are not the same people that are tuning in to watch Belfast, Drive My Car, and Power of the Dog pick up Oscars. Like, it's all over the place. Like, pick a lane.
Yeah.
You're never going to get 100% of America watching the Oscars again. It's not going to happen. Either go all in on, like, we're playing to the snobby New York and LA folk, or we're playing to all of America. Like, you got to pick.
Yeah. Yeah, they seem to be all over the map here. I don't know. But talk about, I mean, the Tom Holland and Zendaya thing is interesting too, because aren't they dating? So it'd be like almost memorializing your relationship in a singular moment, like remember
like
when
Ben
they were
Affleck
dating and they hosted the Oscars?
Anya de Armas made a movie, an erotic thriller that, well, it's coming out and they're no longer together. Awkward.
Yeah.
But speaking of Tom and Zendaya, Spider-Man No Way Home, talking about all that, that film still has a chance at the Oscars because, our next thing, early this week, voting began for, hashtag, Oscars fan favorite. It's going to be a campaign here. Twitter users who use this hashtag can vote on a film that will be recognized during the awards broadcast. And now it doesn't sound like it's going to be an actual Oscar handed to them, like that popular film Oscar that they were going to do back in like 2019. But the hashtag Oscars fan favorite award. What do you think about this, guys? Are you excited that maybe Spider-Man can get a chance and be recognized on the Oscars?
My issue with that is you can buy likes and tweets and hashtags by the billions. Like, if someone wants something to win, it's won. Like, there's no question. If somebody wants something to win, as long as they have the money to throw, it's won. So that to
do
me,
it on a seed. Can we do it?
I find it a little sick because it's like, wait, so you're asking me, Oscars, to do the work for you because you can't generate enough popularity on your own, so you're asking me to do it for you by hashtag Oscars fan favorite. It's not about the award. It's about building steam and momentum and ratings and all that. And that's all they're trying to get. And they're hoping that you'll do this because, and then they'll give you the little most improved medal in fan favorite voting,
Yeah, so let's say you're a Spider-Man No Way Home fan.
Mm-hmm.
And you're hoping it wins this award. And are you really going to now carve out 3 hours plus of your life on a Sunday night to say, I gotta watch the Oscars live in case Spider-Man gets this award? And then you're all excited and you're sitting there and they're like, okay, our Oscars fan favorite is like, it's going to be like probably like a little bottom lower third. Maybe they'll show a clip if you're lucky.
Cut like, to break with it.
Yeah, like, because there's another thing that users can also vote for their favorite scene with hashtag Oscars cheer moments. And then the winning ones will be seen during the broadcast. So it's like, watch, we're going to get like no clips from all the nominated films and the best performances of the years, but instead we're going to get clips from like Venom 2 and Free Guy. And like, it's just, and as John points out, it's just so dumb because this thing could be easily swayed. Users get 20 submissions a day, and I'm gonna laugh when some random film wins. Like, some bot is going to make it Clifford the Big Red Dog, or it's just Dear Evan Hansen coming in with the win. Like, because it's a global contest, and if you look at the top 10 from the last year, I mean, 2 of the 3 top films are foreign films. You got Venom and Godzilla vs. Kong. They're in the top 10. It's like, you're really playing with fire. You really are. Just in case Spider-Man wins. I mean, it could not. It could not.
Well, is this vote monitored by PricewaterhouseCoopers?
But we also know they sometimes make mistakes with the Oscars.
Yeah.
So be careful. All right. One last thing I think really to talk about with the Oscars. And I'm going to talk about more like the ceremony itself, because they're already taking heat online. Surprise, surprise. With some of their vaccination requirements. At first, it was reported that they were going to skip mandating vaccines for the ceremony. No vaccines required at all. But last night, we got a clarification to that Hollywood Reporter report that now all nominees and their invited guests must show proof of vaccination and test negative. But the performing and presenters of these awards don't need to show proof of vaccination. So all the performers performing the songs and the dances and all that stuff like that, the people presenting the awards to the nominees that are vaccinated don't have to be vaccinated, just a test. Meanwhile, as for masks, the guests and nominees in the orchestra, not required to wear a mask, but those in the mezzanine, which is off camera, see what they're, will be wearing the masks.
So dumb. That's beyond dumb.
It is. It is really dumb. Also, if we're talking about like the whole COVID situation, more droplets are going to be spewed by people
presenting and singing.
Without the mask on. So it just doesn't make any sense to me. This makes absolutely zero sense. You
might as well just gone, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You get vaccinated. Catch a tiger by the toe. You're okay. It's just like,
yeah.
It makes zero sense, and it's all I saw this article. It reeks of desperation because they are so concerned about stars, celebrities attending, that they're worried that they're going to not have those people attend. Like, there's in that Hollywood Reporter piece, we can speculate all we want. We won't know for sure, but one of the 4 2021 acting winners, the acting winners from 2021, they come present the next year. That one, like supporting actor presents supporting actress the next year. It's always a tradition. But one of the 4 from last year, according to the Hollywood Reporter, is unvaxxed. And there's speculation of who it is between the 4, and we could talk offline who we think it is. And there's other talent as well. There's a singer, which you can look up, that is claiming will not get vaccinated, but they probably want that person to perform. There's a couple other A-list stars, I would not be shocked, that are also unvaccinated, that they probably want to show up because they may be winning an award. So it's just like...
Dude, I'm not surprised one bit. I mean, you're in LA, the land of the unvaccinated. You have all those crazy like performers that are like, don't get their kids vaccinated and all that stuff. So it's a breeding ground for that kind of thing. So it doesn't surprise me. And it doesn't surprise me that the Oscars would try to bend all the rules they could, do all the mental gymnastics to make whatever they need happen.
It's just weird because it's like, there's other actors that demanded like vaccines when they were working on set. I remember Sean Penn was like, I'm not working on this set until everyone's vaccinated. So it's like, I'm sure we'll wait to see, the backlash of this article that came, last night. Are there going to be some other actors that are like, well, I'm not coming unless it's vaccinated? Like, not that this person has said anything, but if I was Steven Spielberg, I'm 75 years old. Why am I taking a risk? I'm J.K. Simmons. I'm 67. Why am I taking a risk to go in a crowded room with no mask, with vaccinations half required? It's just like, no. What's going to be really interesting is we can play along at home. Is the SAG Awards and Critics' Choice Awards, which are the weeks before, are requiring vaccinations. So we'll get to see who decides to show up to them and who shows up to the Oscars, and we'll see maybe.
Yeah.
And they'll be called out. But
oh no.
All right.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That whole thing. Oh no.
All right. Well, let's get out of Oscars. We have some news coming from ViacomCBS, or I guess I need to say Paramount now. This week there was the TCAs. It was also, I think, the Paramount or ViacomCBS Investor Stockholders Day. And there was a lot of news that came out from this. First of all, we can talk about the name change. ViacomCBS, which merged 2 years ago, is no more. We're going all in on Paramount. It's the 1 year anniversary of Paramount Plus, that rebrand of the CBS All Access platform. So now it's Paramount's Paramount Plus. What do you think of that? You guys got it? You like it?
Many changes. I don't even, you could have named all of those different companies and I would probably think that there was that many plus 2 more different streaming services that they're a part of. I have no idea that they're all part of one. And I have to, anything I want to watch now, I have to look it up. I have to Google what platform it's on. The only one that I can keep straight is usually Netflix and now HBO because they settled and we can find it. Everything else, I have no idea where it is. So it's mixing confusion into the same pot of confusion. So I guess in the end it doesn't matter, but like, why?
I mean, I think what they're trying to do, Paramount, I think has more prestige, like in the business. There's more like, there's more to the name there because they made films and all this stuff. But I would be worried if you're CBS for people to realize like CBS is a part of Paramount. And I know the more that you market those kinds of things, it makes it more obvious, but it just seems if you keep changing stuff again, where are people going to find it? How do they know that your content is related to the name? It's becoming more and more confusing. And I don't know. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but it makes it feel like all media is becoming one in reality. Just because it's just like 4 companies own everything.
It really is. It really is. And they got their service, Paramount Plus, and it's lagging in the streaming space. But by the end of 2021, it was up to 32.8 million subscribers. That's up from 16.5 million at the start of the year.
And how much is it?
There's different pricing plans. I think I want to say, I think the one without ads is maybe 10, and then the other one is like 5 or 6,
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny you mention that because there's also some more other changes with the pricing because we've been talking about it for a while. I've been advocating it for a while, and we're kind of getting it. I've been saying they need to combine with Showtime, just like HBO did with all the Turner stuff to get HBO Max. We kind of get it here, the Paramount Plus Showtime merge, but in a weird way, because now you have the option to watch Showtime programming on Paramount Plus, but it's for a fee. So for $12 a month with ads, or for $15 a month ad free, you get this sort of bundle within an app of Paramount Plus and Showtime. But you can also still separate it. So if you just want Paramount Plus, you just want Showtime, you can get those, or you can get them together for a cheaper price. It's like sort of kind of like what Disney does with Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, but with that, you still got to you have to open up the separate apps to get to each one. Now it's like, well, we're going to put all the Showtime programming in Paramount Plus, but it's going to cost you that bundle fee. Thoughts on that? And John, I think, is liking that better or disliking it worse? Know. I don't know. I can't tell.
I don't like the additional upcharge for it. That's really what I don't like. I like the idea of having them in one spot. I mean, again, the more you can get in one spot, the more value for your dollar. But if the price also goes up, is it worth it? I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things where if you have the need to watch both, it's probably great. But otherwise, it's just more stuff to clutter up the dashboard and now I can't watch this even though it's in my face every day and I want to watch it, So I'm not receiving it great, but it's at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world, I guess.
Yeah, and to me, like Showtime doesn't have the same quality of series as like say an HBO. So to me, it's not worth it to invest in this because I consider HBO's content better, and I'm kind of making a choice there because there's so many streaming services. I got to pick and choose now, and it's going to be like the better deal that I can. I mean, I'm still trying to get free Apple TV Plus for 49 million years. So any way to limit the amount of streaming services because there's way too many. That's pretty much what I'm doing at this point. And Showtime is too late in the game for me. I'm sorry. It's just too late.
Yeah. I think it's good that we're getting a consolidation with this. Sometimes it's, it's like, oh, the mega corporation, but I kind of want this things condensed here so I can have less services. I have a better chance of guessing where things are. I was like, well, there's only 4 services. I can guess which program's on what. I wonder if it is going to be confusing for the consumer where it's like, wait, I signed up for Paramount Plus. Where's Yellow Jackets? Where's Dexter? Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I need the add-on? Wait, what level or tier do I need?
Yeah.
Why do I have ads? What am I missing? What am I getting? It's like there's still too much there, but I think it's probably good, though, for Paramount because it's like, well, it's more options, more money. We're not going to lose people with our subscriber numbers It's like, oh, well, people are going to not understand this and they'll be paying for Paramount Plus and Showtime separately. And then there's other people that, oh, we can get $3 more out of people just to get them to get Showtime. It's like, okay. So I think it's like, it just helps them to just have more places revenue can come from.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I'll be real curious if when NBC pulls out their stuff from Hulu, if Disney does this, or if Disney kind of finally combines it, Hulu into Disney Plus, because already, as we talked about with Pam and Tommy, internationally, it's all kind of in one streaming service. Well, if Showtime wasn't going to get you, there's a lots of new content though coming to Paramount and Paramount Plus. I'm going to just list a few. There were so many I couldn't keep up with all the IP that they're dropping, but we got a Star Trek sequel from J.J. Abrams producing. We got the third Sonic the Hedgehog film with a live action series for it. We have a third Quiet Place film announced with a spin-off film in that franchise.
Oh my God.
Plus, we got Seth Rogen's take on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We even got a Baby Shark full-length film. So much coming out. New stuff, I guess, based on old stuff. But it also sounds like they are finally maybe gotten smart and decided to keep their stuff without selling it off all the time, because starting in 2024, all Paramount movies will stream directly on the service after the theatrical run. South Park will be coming back to them in 2025, but it's a start. There's no word on when Yellowstone, which is cable's biggest show, it's only available on Peacock right now, when that will finally come back to Paramount. But they did order another spin-off series after 1883 and 6666. This one is called 1932.
1930. There's too many numbers.
Too many numbers.
That's the cost of it?
Maybe. Yeah. And then they mentioned that Halo is going to be renewed for a season 2 before the season 1 start. Any of those things. Yep. I wonder if it's one of those things where it's like, we already spent so much money on the first season. We can commission a season 2, and it's like the sets are built, the costumes are built, the actors are locked in.
Which is what scares me about it, dude. Because it's like, is more money being put into it, or is it gonna look like trash? I hope not.
Yeah. Oh, but any of those IP properties, anything there, make you say, "Hey, sign me up, Paramount Plus."
No. Sorry.
Yeah, not right now. I mean, if I'm getting content elsewhere, not right now. But I mean, if all these other things start switching back over to their own label, it's gonna, it might make me think about it. But at this moment, no, I can wait it out. Plus, that's 2024 for some of that stuff.
Yeah, it would take the well that I currently have of resources to be fairly extinguished for me to want to do that right now with what they are offering.
Yeah. I am so behind of TV from this week that dropped. I can't even think about next week or March or April when all of our other shows come back. We're going to be buried and stuff. I don't need to come up with random little gags and drafts and things to do. We got plenty of stuff to talk about coming up. So, well, we might be also talking about some movies if MoviePass is coming back. We lost it in 2019. But last week in a theater in New York City, we were told by the MoviePass team it's officially coming back. And I mean, we've talked about it a little bit in the past. We talked about how they changed their logo and from red to black. And with a change like that, I know this one is definitely going to last. This is for this is for real, guys.
Yeah, dude. It's in black and white. How can it not be real?
It has to be.
Yeah.
But this revamped service will be available in tiered plans with varying prices, but the co-founder did not share what those tiers would cost or include. But the service will also allow users to bring a guest, but it's unclear if it would only be a certain tier or if there's going to be additional credits required. So with all that being said, who's signing up for MoviePass?
No way, dude. This thing is already dead. Just leave it be. You know what I mean? Just
this is
let
Fire
it go.
Fest. Like, you guys are This is a scheme. Do you not see
I
this?
know. It's like Billy McFarland is running this thing, man. What are we doing? He's probably running this thing from prison. This is? It's already a dead horse. Why do we just keep beating it? Really, all they have is that name at this point. Like what?
And a new logo. A new logo.
Because what did they tell you? In that nothing, absolutely nothing. And what do they have? A name and a new logo, like you suggested. So it's absurd, this whole thing.
Yep. So they do have one thing that they did mention. They have this virtual credit system. It's gonna roll over every month.
Oh, is it
where
Bitcoin?
Where users can earn credits by watching advertisements ahead of the movie.
Gross.
But wait a minute, I'm not done. Because how will they know if you're actually watching those ads? Don't worry, Kyle. They have eye tracking technology to make sure that you're paying attention.
Dude, no way. MoviePass is not a movies at that point. It's, selling your data to fit the meta world or metaverse or whatever the hell it is.
It reminds me of somebody took out a patent where you would have to stand up and yell the name of the company to stop watching ads. Yeah, you'd have to stand up and say like McDonald's, and it would stop. It would skip the ad. Like it reminds me of that. Like forcing
Isn't this
you.
actually this is a Black Mirror episode? Wasn't there this episode where the guy was on the exercise bike and every night he had to watch whatever show, but like, you're running out of credits. You got to watch these ads. You can't skip them. If you skip them, that costs you credits.
Yep. Yeah. Oh my God.
Or we talked about the cars that read the billboards and play them in your car. All over the place. Good.
It's like that's John. That story is like the most ridiculous thing. It's like commercial safe word for McDonald's. What? That is insane. This is ridiculous. It's clearly at that point. It's clearly. I think there's more money in people willing to do this and the data that they have in watching these advertisements than there are in getting whatever the subscriber base is to watch the movies. And they would get more selling the data of tracking people's eyeballs and whatever.
Selling this technology. But
get out of here. No way.
I texted you guys the link to it, by the way.
But the co-founder said he wanted to get movie theaters on board with this new iteration of MoviePass. Hang on a second. The co-founder said he wanted to get movie theaters on board with this new iteration. So it's not done yet? How are you launching this if the theaters are not involved? Like
it's all smoke and mirrors, man.
Are you gonna hold the device for them to track your eyes? Are they gonna install these in theaters? Like,
yeah, or is it like before you go to the movies, you have to watch them on your phone? I don't. But like, will theaters even want to join back up with MoviePass? Because MoviePass forced them to make their own version of this. AMC, Regal, Alamo, they all have their own services now.
Yeah. It's like inviting the Trojan horse in when you know what it's in. What? It's not worth it to them anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to find a way to, fake this. Did you guys hear about there's a player, Rob Gronkowski, who was required to run sprints and he wanted to get out of it. So he videotaped himself every day or the same day, just in different shirts doing the sprints so that the rest of the week he could have it off. I want to do something like that with this. Can I get a mannequin?
Yeah.
Can I do Face ID with a mannequin?
Cutout. That's like the people that use like a dummy in the carpool lane just to like pretend that they have somebody else with them. Yeah.
I'm going to get a mannequin and they're going to be like, this guy is great. He never blinks. He watches all the ads.
You have 1 million credits. You can exchange that for an NFT.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. All right. That is it for In-N-Out Points. We have this segment that's going to include a bunch of these coming attractions. John?
Here are some exciting coming attractions.
Yes, it's coming attractions Super Bowl edition.
So I just have to say, before this, I was taking a drink of water and I thought it was Back in Time. So I almost did like a spit take because I thought it was Back in Time.
Not yet. We're talking about some movie trailers that took place, that aired during the Super Bowl game on Sunday. We got 3 or 4 of them here. Let's start off with Nope. This is Jordan Peele's third film, starring Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, and Steven Yeun. It's going to drop on July 22nd. Even after this trailer, I don't know what it's about.
Yeah, no idea. But I swear, I mean, looking at the picture art, it lends a little bit more to it because obviously there's something going on with the sky. They got a person sucked up going into the sky, but the first half of the trailer makes it seem like one thing, and then it switches to like a supernatural thing. So I'm not. This one is all over the place, but I'm definitely interested.
Yeah, this is such a vibe trailer. It's like it doesn't give like any plot away, but you still want to see it just to get into that world and to feel it because like it's all fun and they're dancing and in the beginning everything's good and then one creepy thing happens and it's like the horse runs away and then the music changes. It's just like they did with Us where it was like it had the fun beat and then all of a sudden it I Got 5 on it switches to a creepy tone. You're like, ooh, wait, what's going on? And then there's like all these like shots, like creepy shots of there's like an alien almost like fist bumping, and then Keke Palmer's picked up into the sky and thrown away. It's like, what's happening here, John? Any thoughts of what could be happening?
I don't know. I like reading horror, not watching horror, so this is going to be an interesting one when we eventually take a look at it. But yeah, I mean, Aliens sounds cool, but is it Aliens? We don't know. Like there's not enough to go on yet. Don't know. Yeah,
I think with like Peele, it's like it's never as easy as it seems. It's not as simple. Because right now it just it looks like aliens, but it's like there's gonna be more. He's gonna have more to say. Yeah. There's gonna be some kind of metaphor, symbol. It's gonna be something, and if something's going on in the sky. It was almost like a Don't Look Up. Steven Yeun looks up. There's the crowd, the camera. They're all looking up. Something's going on, and I just think the image of that cloud thing with like the kind of car salesman, flags coming through it is just already an iconic, like, oh, what is that?
Yeah. I think the only thing that retracts or takes away from the trailer is the title is not great. I don't like but maybe it'll make sense in the movie. But I do like how in the trailer they played off it because in the song. One of the songs, they're going, yeah, like that. And then I think it's Keke Palmer is like, no.
She's like, no.
Yeah. So it's cool that they played off that. But it's, interesting title. But maybe it'll make sense as we get more info.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think, when I heard Get Out and I saw that trailer, I'm like, what is this? What's the tone of this? It's all over the place. And then look what happened. So... All right, I think we're all intrigued by Nope. We'll have to wait and see when that comes out. I don't know. I think we can do another coming attraction, John.
Here are some exciting coming attractions.
All right, why not? Let's do it again. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It's a sequel to the 2016 Doctor Strange film. It's going to drop on May 6, 2022. Directed by Sam Raimi. Doctor Strange and his allies travel into the multiverse to face a mysterious new adversary. Our constant disclaimer, we are not Marvel experts. We don't know anything. Do not come for us, please. But let's start off. I don't know, John, what did you think of this trailer?
I liked the way it was cut. Beyond that, I'm so lost on where this is. This is like the 70th film in a series that I need to see now. Like it
28th, but
is
yes,
it actually 28.
I believe it's the 28th
that's
in the MCU. But then there's hours and hours and series of Disney Plus shows and whatever else.
A lot less than I thought actually. But still, I'm not gonna watch 60 plus hours of material to get to this. Maybe if it's if it makes sense as a one-off, maybe. But I don't know. I don't see it fitting into my backlog in a way that would make it make sense on the deeper level that I would want it to.
Yeah, I agree with John. I mean, I actually liked the trailer because it got me more interested than I thought I probably would have before. It had an Inception vibe to me, and I guess
exactly. I had the same note.
It makes sense with the time time travel or time shifting or whatever they does. But yeah, I have no idea. I don't even pretend to know. I am so lost. But I will say that the trailer was cool, and the only funny thing from the trailer that I thought was like the one guy's like, you can't change everything. And Benedict Cumberbatch can change time, can he? They can change. That changes quite a lot.
The versions. I don't know what he does. He does things with his hands and things open portals and stuff. But like, yeah, I thought the trailer was pretty cool. You could definitely tell it's like darker. Yeah, I wrote down Inception vibes as well with the music and like the city kind of folding in on itself and. Visually, there was just a lot of cool visuals in it. I mean, when like Doctor Strange is kind of becoming like this Rubik's Cube Swiss cheese thing, like I was like, oh, what is that? Was interesting, and so I'm excited. Sam Raimi, obviously a lot of horror hits back in the day, but of course, started the MCU in a way with the original Spider-Man. Now, but it's like, yeah, in this one we got like a bad Doctor Strange. It looks like. Versus a good one, and there's multiple versions of people. I saw 2 Wandas at one point. It's like so there's a lot going on. And as you guys mentioned, yeah, it's like it's the back catalog of homework you have to know going into this. I am worried. What I only hear rumors and stuff, but like I heard that this was supposed to come out before Spider-Man No Way Home. But then obviously now. It had to be reworked. There was extensive reshoots even for a Marvel film because it has to cover No Way Home. It incorporates Loki season 1 to stuff. It looks like it has to incorporate WandaVision, and there's so many things that it needs to incorporate now. Meanwhile, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of cameos. I mean, there's at least from what we see in the trailer, the possibility of Patrick Stewart playing Professor X from the X-Men film series. It looks like, according to the internet, you hear his voice, you see kind of part of his, back of his head there. It's like, oh, so are you going to combine now with X-Men? Because Disney now owns it. It's part of the franchise.
Wild.
But then there's also rumblings on the internet where it's like, well, we're kind of going to do the No Way Home approach after, there's a lot of cameos people really liked in that.
Oh, no.
So let's add in some cameos here. And I will say, too, this might be a spoiler. I don't know. I don't know what's official, what's rumored, what this means. Just go with it, okay? Like, if you're that worried, skip ahead. But I've been seeing stuff online that there's going to be possibly a Tony Stark variant played by Tom Cruise.
What?
Because Robert Downey Jr. is out of it. So it's like, it's kind of like some kind of like, it's going to be like a cameo. Like in what was it? Austin Powers was a gold member where they starts off with like Danny DeVito's Mini-Me, and there's like I think it is Tom Cruise as Austin, and they like do like a fake little thing with Steven Spielberg directing it. But so you have stuff like that, and then this is where the internet went down the rabbit hole. Is there's supposedly like in the poster of the official poster, there's like all these like shards of glass kind of looking thing everywhere. Somebody like zoomed in on one of them.
Of course they did.
It's Deadpool. Deadpool's in this. And
oh my God.
I stared at it. I kid you not, for about 3 minutes. I stared at it and I'm like, what? I don't see it. And I had to look up in the replies. Can somebody like draw like the outline? And like somebody did, and I'm like, okay, I guess. Like maybe. I guess, but that's just like a cloud. Like so it's just like people again, it's like this is what the slippery slope of Disney, where it's like you got people hyped up that, you got the Spider-Mans all in a film together. What's the next one? What are you going to do next? You got to up your game. Oh, what's after? Oh, you got Tom Cruise as Tony Stark and Deadpool. What's next? You're going to add in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Like, you got to keep going. It's like...
Yeah, it's just, to me, it's like, when does the House of Cards fall with this kind of, all this story making? It's like... somebody, the storyboard for this must be huge. I mean, how do you keep track of it all? It's insane.
Because then this has to set up probably whatever the 29th film and the 30th film and the 6 series that are going to premiere. But
crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
All right. I don't know. Let's do another one, John. Why not? Let's do another coming attraction.
Here are some exciting coming attractions.
All right. Coming attraction number 3, Jurassic World Dominion. It's a sequel to Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. It's the 6th one in this kind of Jurassic franchise, dropping June 10th, 4 years after the destruction of Isla Nublar, I guess. Dinosaurs now live and hunt alongside humans all over the world. All right, John, are you a Jurassic World Park fan?
I've seen some of them, yeah. I'm not down on it, but I'm also not running out to go see it. Chris Pratt is an interesting character. We'll put it that way.
It's me, Chris Pratt.
Yes. He's good at what he does, but I feel like he plays one person, who's a little aloof, and that's kind of it. And I not that he's played out for me, but I don't feel what's special there. And so now that we're on the 3rd in his series here, I don't know if what is he bringing that hasn't been done, I guess, is my real question. Obviously the scenario is different with it no longer being a park and everything's out in the open, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I feel the dinosaur magic anymore,
Yeah, I hear you. And supposedly this is the epic conclusion to this Jurassic saga. Sure
Depends
it is.
on how much money it makes, right?
Exactly. I mean, the first one is still a mind-blowing surprise hit. I think nobody expected it to be as big as it was. Sure, they thought it was going to make money, but not. I'm looking here. About pretty much $1.7 billion worldwide.
Wow.
The Jurassic World, the first one. It's and then I guess the second one still somehow made 1.3 billion worldwide. So it's this film when it makes over $1 billion, you're gonna be like, yeah, we're done. No, you're not. Come on. But at least in this one, we're reuniting the original trio from the Jurassic Park films with this kind of new Jurassic World team. And when watching the trailer, I had the same thought of you, John. I'm like, can we get less Chris Pratt? Can he give me more of the OG 3? I'd rather see Jeff Goldblum than Chris Pratt again. But what did you think of the trailer, Kyle?
I thought it was one of the trailers where it did not inspire anything, and I didn't even have remotely any interest in watching it. There was nothing about the trailer that made me want to watch this at all. I mean, I don't know. I'm not the biggest Jurassic World fan. I did see the first Jurassic World. I didn't see the second one because it was the same thing. I don't need to see this. It feels like the same story, just on a bigger scale.
Can these guys learn from their mistakes? Stop opening theme parks with dinosaurs. Just stop.
I'm right with John too. It's there's no magic here. I mean, you want to pair them up with the original cast. I guess that's where the magic is, but I don't feel inspired by it. There's nothing that makes me want to watch this in any way. I guess if you're a dinosaur lover, this could be, something that you're into, or maybe if you're a younger kid into dinosaurs, maybe possibly that's what they're going for. But I bet they make a ton on the theme park situation with this, so that's why they do it.
Yeah, and I was I was watching it with the dinosaurs, and maybe there was just so many shots of them running and walking, and it's just so much in this trail that to me it kind of lost kind of its it's not really real or spectacular. I was just okay, it was in Jurassic Park 1, oh my god, it was, what is this? And you were kind of blown away even with those effects then, and the way that they for the longest time, never showed the full T-Rex. You kind of show the foot, and then you show the eye. You show parts of it. I think it needed more of that kind of mystery with these things. And it's you need more of the foreboding Godzilla. The raptors, you hear that, you see that cup of water, you see it you need more of them
suspense.
Suspense. And I will say there was one shot that actually I thought was pretty cool in this trailer, where it was the T-Rex over a pond, and then we panned down and we saw Bryce Dallas Howard kind of like, underwater trying to be quiet.
That was cool.
That was the one cool like reveal, but everything else was just very like you could have, those clips could have been from Jurassic World 1, 2, and I wouldn't have been shocked.
Yeah.
But
yep, I agree.
All right. So it sounded like we started off so good with, we're excited for Nope. Doctor Strange looks interesting. We're out on Jurassic World. John, do we have one more coming attraction in us?
Here are some exciting coming attractions.
All right, one more, and we're going to go to TV now. We're going to talk about The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. It's going to drop on Amazon on September 2nd. This is set thousands of years before the events of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. The series is based off of Tolkien's Middle-earth, and it's going to cover the major events of the Second Age, the forging of the Rings of Power, the last alliance between elves and men, and so much more. We've been talking about it for a long time on the podcast. We reported from Hollywood Reporters that the first season would cost over $465 million, and that's $250 million just on the series rights alone. To put things in perspective, Game of Thrones costs roughly $100 million a season. So a lot is riding on this. Does it look like it's worth over, near $500 million, John?
Well, they paid that one guy to watch the dust, right? I mean,
That is true.
right? You noticed the dust was...
I did notice. I noticed the dust was in the correct wind directional pattern in the trailer, so I appreciated
What
that.
else can you ask for in a series? I mean, I don't know. They revealed some, what would you call it, key art of the characters a couple weeks ago and all that, and it looks interesting. It looks like a very varied cast, and I think that's kind of the point, because this is the origin of all the rings, not just the one ring. So yeah, I'm optimistic. I think it's going to be pretty good. I've been seeing a little bit of complaining online, but I also remember when the original Lord of the Rings came out, with Peter Jackson doing the first one. People weren't happy with that either, and then it turned out to be fantastic. So I'm hopeful. I'm looking forward to seeing it and judging it for what it is. But yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah, for me, I really don't know much about Lord of the Rings. To be honest, I know it's like blasphemy. I've seen the first one, but like I really don't really know much about it. I know Kyle's killing me. But in this trailer, big sets, the costumes, the creatures, it had it all. I will say some of the stuff though, to me, at least on my laptop, had kind of the Hobbit video game look to it. So I don't know, like, is the CGI done yet? Like, you guys still tinkering with it? But I want to ask now Kyle's opinion, because Kyle's our resident Lord of the Rings expert, I would say.
I wouldn't call myself an expert. I just
he
really
can quote
I like Lord
every
of the Rings.
book line by line.
Yeah, okay.
All the director's cuts twice.
Yeah.
So Kyle, what did you think of this trailer?
I enjoyed it, and I'm interested in it a lot. But I will say I have the same reservations I have for Halo. I'm more confident that this will be better, but there were some shots, especially early on in this trailer, where I'm like, the CGI, she just jumped from there to there, but it looked like what's going on? It looks like she's just floating above a green screen. This doesn't...
The exact clip you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know. And then as the trailer progressed, the shots looked like they got really cool, but same thing I'm worried about, that you're worried about, Dave, is that video, it doesn't look... film like, it almost looks video game like in that Hobbit style, in that higher frames per second. And I don't know if I like that. I hope it looks good. I hope the stories are good. But I'm interested.
Because at the end of the day, they can spend all the money they want on the CGI and this and that, but if the story isn't there, because I don't know much about it, but to do thousands of years before the events of all the stuff that people know, like, do you have enough there? Or you have enough there for the fans? Is, like, you going to draw this thing out? Is it going to be sped up? Like, you got a lot of things to cover. What are you covering, and how are you going to cover it? A lot of questions. But, I mean, we'll definitely be talking about it when it drops in September. But, I don't know. Before we kind of leave out of this, we'll talk a little bit about the Super Bowl real quick, because I have one thing I want to mention about that. Any commercials stand out to you from the Super Bowl? Anything? I know it's been already like a few days, but
there were two that I had in mind. There was the Rocket Mortgage one, that had like the one with Anna Kendrick at the end, I think, with the Barbies or something. And there was another one. Shoot,
the QR code.
Oh, well, that one. Yeah, there was no way you were getting me. I watched that thing bounce around like I was in, fifth grade, class, just watching that ding, ding, all bounce around, hoping it gets to the corner.
The Windows XP or whatever. Yeah.
There was no way you were going to get me to scan something. Oh, yeah. Are you crazy? And it's like, it's showing how... how little security people will take over anything. Like, they could have shown anything. They could have done anything with that QR code, Yeah.
Yep.
John, anything for you?
No, I kind of agree with those. They were nothing jumped out at me and went, wow. It was just some interesting ones. And some of them were interesting for reasons that wouldn't even just personal reasons, the music sounded like a different song. You know what I mean? Like dumb things like that. So there was really nothing that was in my mind that stuck out and made me go, huh,
Yeah.
I
was just shocked at how many celebrities that we would get for these very quick, not even 2-second background cameo things. There was one I found out it was the next day, and it's there was that one at McDonald's, and there was Grimace, and he was ordering something, and you know who said that one line of I'll take, that was the line? Ryan Reynolds. Why did you spend millions of dollars to get Ryan Reynolds for something that no one even sees him on screen for? And that, it's just mind-blowing the amount of money that they're wasting on these ads that half the time you can't even remember what the brand is.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And this is what I was going to mention too, is how many celebrities are in these commercials. I mean, there used to be whole sections of the commercial business for mid-level actors, middle-class actors that would do this kind of thing. And now celebrities are everywhere. It's they can't get enough money.
Zendaya's going to sell some seashells by the seashore.
It's insane. And I mean, I can't begrudge them for taking the money, but it's this is insane how much money is being spent for them. But also the companies, it's why don't you do something more innovative or change your product in a different way rather than spend all this money on a celebrity actor when you could get a mid-level actor and give them a job that they would want, It's just
give everybody off for the Super Bowl and some cash to buy wings or something. Come on, there's so many better things you could do with the money than spend millions of dollars for your 30-second ad of a QR code that crashes your website. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is actually one of the first games I missed live in recent memory. I watched the playlist of commercials the next day, and probably forgot about them by the afternoon. It's just very forgettable. But there's one thing that people maybe remember to do the day after the Super Bowl. This thing is so absurd. I know we're running long tonight, and I probably should cut this segment, but I can't. This thing is just... Tushy Bidet tweeted how it would if you send them a picture of your post-game poop on Super Bowl Monday, you could win $10,000. Bonus points if you tell them what the food used to be.
Oh, my God.
What are we doing?
Oh, my God.
What are we doing?
Hey, people are talking about it. I mean, that's probably what this is assigned to do, but the poor intern that has to go in and choose one, man.
I know. And they came up with the hashtag Tushy's Super Bowel.
I didn't even notice that.
Oh, my God.
And they're like, we allow DMs if you're shy. And thankfully, when I was going to screenshot this tweet, I didn't see anything else because I'm sure there had been plenty of people on Twitter, posting this here. And I will say, it's probably also because when they tweeted this on February 9th, they also had to do a follow-up tweet saying, don't send your poop pictures now. We don't want them yet. We're not yet. Don't send anything. Yes, it's fun that you're doing it, but no. Not yet. Wait till Monday, and then you can send us that. You can send us that crap later.
Telling a bunch of school children not to S their pants at the same time. Somebody should have just thrown a corn on the cob in the toilet and been like, here's my...
Yeah. It was Jell-O last night. And now... Okay. I had to. I know it's gross. It's dumb, but it's just too absurd to pass this in and out point up. So, all right. One last thing tonight. This is it tonight. We're going long. We're off for a little bit. So it's a little supersized episode of Do or Die and See. We have this show. In order to talk about it, it's a coming attraction. No, just kidding. We're going back in time.
We're back, baby.
Gotta get back in time.
I almost tricked you, John. I almost did. All right. Well, we're talking about Bel-Air series premiere on Peacock. Dreams and Nightmares. It's going to, premiere on Super Bowl Sunday, February 13th. This drama series is a reboot and dramatization of the sitcom The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and it's based on the viral fan trailer from 2019. The series follows Will Smith's life, which got turned upside down when he left Philadelphia and moved with his auntie and uncle in Bel-Air. All right. I think we're all at least familiar with the original series. But what did we think of this kind of reboot, drama series, Bel-Air? Kyle, start me off.
I didn't hate it. I think it would take more getting used to. I thought it was okay. I enjoyed parts of it, but I felt like the characters, because the thing about the Fresh Prince is Will was so outrageous. Every character was a little bit outrageous. So I'm getting used to the dramatic element where the characters are more toned down versions of themselves. But then in that sense, they will sometimes make jokes. It's getting me it's just gonna take me a minute to get used to these characters that are more toned down versions of themselves. I can't figure out a way to describe it, but it's just gonna take me a while to do it.
Yeah, I'm really curious for somebody who's never seen The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to just watch this to start and see what they would make of it. Because the whole time I'm like, wait, that's what they're doing with that character? Oh wait, you're skipping over that. Ooh, you added that. And it's you're constantly judging based on your childhood of what you did, because they definitely updated some of the characters, and what their relationship with Will is, which is also weird. Maybe it's just something I have to get used to, that the actor is playing Will Smith.
Yeah.
And so it's this weird thing where it's Will Smith was Will Smith in the show. It's Jerry Seinfeld as Jerry Seinfeld, but this is a kid now as Will Smith. And there's points I thought he did good. At points I almost thought that sounds like Will Smith, just the cadence, the way he was saying lines. But it was just I don't know, it's just a weird thing to kind of get used to.
Yeah.
And, we'll go through some of the differences between some of the characters in a minute. But John, what did you think of Bel-Air?
I'm in a similar boat. I think I need to see a little bit more. I think for me, my big question is, why is this a reboot of Fresh Prince? Why isn't it a standalone IP? I think it would be much stronger like that, because I think the weakest points for me were when there was a throwaway oh, my auntie got scared about, that was the weakest point, because it broke the flow and it was just shoehorning it in there. And on top of that, like you're saying, they updated these characters, and you're expecting, a Carlton that's very different. Now he's more of a jock, and he's spoilers. He's hitting rails of Adderall instead of dancing. If you go into it expecting it, it seems so much different. So I think this would be a lot stronger as its own thing. It seems like they took the name for recognition and the guiding path, but spun off into what they want to do, which is cool. But why not just do that on its own and have a stronger final result?
It's to get those Peacock subscriber numbers up. Where it's ooh, I gotta see Bel-Air. I gotta see the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. If you change the names of this series and it's okay, this could be an interesting drama, just outside of it. But when you have to then force feed, oh no, we got to make sure we have DJ Jazzy Jeff, or, like we got to have this, Butler Jeffrey character. It's like, yeah, okay. It's pulling me from the dramatic story that you're building. And some of the other changes I'll read through. It's like, the Butler character. I remember him being so like repulsed by Will's character and his behavior because of the two different worlds that we had. But here it's like, we're getting along with our Will, everything's good. Hillary's also getting along with Will. She's an influencer. Okay, that checks out. That makes sense.
That makes total sense to me.
And the person that's not getting along with Will is Carlton. And he's not a geek. He's kind of like this lacrosse jock. And I will say he still have that like level of insecurity. He's letting his white friends say whatever they want, just to maybe try to fit in with them, to try to seem cool, to be a part of the club. But yeah, he's almost like the villain, at least so far in this story. Yeah,
he is. And you're right. He does have some insecurity there. And I'm thinking back now when I'm watching the episode, am I imprinting some nerdiness onto him because of the character? Because I didn't necessarily think of him as like a jock, because I don't know, like to me, he was like shorter than Will. He's a smaller in stature dude. So I'm like imprinting those like this nerdiness quality to him that maybe wasn't meant to be there at all. So it's interesting how I viewed him in relation to how you guys viewed him, because I didn't necessarily see him that way because of all the things that we see at the party. And then whatever Lisa says to Will, like, do you know what he went through? So clearly there's something going on.
Because the other thing is
Carlton.
Like Will is actually very bright. He's a great student in this one versus, probably the original series. And it's like, back in Philly, he's getting a 97 on whatever his math test. He's, getting the game-winning shot. He's the king over in Philly. And it's like, it's the different Will than we saw with the fluorescent, colors in it from the original series. We also have Uncle Phil. He's running for DA. He's trying to help troubled youth. And this story to me is a little confusing, like when I actually like break it down. Whereas like the story is that Will moved to Bel-Air for a better education, but it's actually kind of a campaign prop, but it's also a secret. He doesn't want to say, he doesn't want Will to say much in front of his friends there, but also the speech that he gives at the party kind of like points to him, and so much so that some other guy is patting him on the back, like, don't worry about it. So it's like, well, how can this fully play out? Because it's like, you can't use him for a campaign thing the whole time if the story is the education. Yeah. It's like, it's already like a very confusing plot pretzel that they added in. Yeah. But, because it's weird to see also Phil. I mean, he's looking good.
I know, Uncle Phil.
The original Phil looked good, but like it's just a different, body type in this one.
Ripped Uncle Phil. Looking like Idris Elba. Shoot, I totally forgot what I was gonna say now.
It's all good. It's okay. I want to talk a little bit about the grittiness, because this is definitely the TVMA version of the sitcom we saw back in the day. And it was weird, I think, hearing like the language and then also hearing then like Carlton Banks, and then hearing the language. It's like, wait a minute, these don't go together. And it's really hard. I was having a hard time like forgetting the candy version, of, like as I said, the fluorescent colors and all this stuff of the original 90s sitcom. And because of that, at points, it felt like it was trying too hard to be gritty.
I was going to say, not with the grittiness, but with the of this era kind of thing, with the slang. It's like, because I work in around kids a lot, and I'll hear like all this slang, but it just seemed like it was like trying to do it too much to like, I don't know. Cool. It was just like too much. It was doing too much, as the kids would say, right? You're doing too much. It's just, it was going too hard on it. And it's like, this doesn't seem authentic to these actors to say this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like they added too much. Like if you just like, oh, you have 3 references, let's cut 2 of them.
Yeah.
You know, just like let's trim it down, make it seem a little bit more real and for it to flow. But yeah, in this one, I mean, like Carlton's doing drugs and we got guns and it sounds like they're killing off, you know, Will's friends back in Philly when he's in Bel-Air. It's like his friend's like, oh, I'm next. And there's like this basketball game and it's like, you know, if you lose, you work for me. It's like, work as what? Like, what are you going to make them do? Like, there's like, it just felt very like just dark and just like, oh, this is real now. And it just, you know, but then at the same time, it had to follow those beats of like, well, we'll settle this on the basketball court because they needed a basketball thing to send him to. So it's like you still had to hit those beats, but also make it, you know. But
a game of basketball for your life.
One last thing I want to kind of bring up is this I don't know, symbolic fall we get at the end where he's pushed into the pool by Carlton, and I will say it certainly looked cool. I just think like maybe it's because I'm still in the mindset of it trying too much, but like I don't know like what it was supposed to fully mean. I mean, there was this line that they kept saying throughout the pilot, you know, your crown is waiting until you find the courage to wear it. And I see him in the scene sinking down. He's going down into the water, but that's where the throne is. The throne is down, and he was sinking towards the throne, but the crown was going up, and he's trying to go back to the crown, but away from the throne. And I don't know if there's a metaphor there, if it's symbolism, or I'm way overthinking it, and it just looked cool. Like, I don't know. And that's where I'm like with the show, where I'm like, all this kind of stuff that you're adding in to make it look dark, and it's like, you're just doing this to be extra, to be cool, or is it like, do you have a plan here and what you're going to want to say? You know, do you have something to say, or is it just, well, man, that trailer that they made in 2019, that looked cool, so let's do that for a show. It's just like, okay, true, but do you have something? Do you have something new to say? Yeah.
The thing that I worry about with this show is like it is a grittier version, but I feel like with how good looking everyone is and how clean it feels, that it could become like an ABC Family type of, you know, where like Will learns his lesson today and he does this, you know, but that's just one worry I would have about it, you know.
I will say, I nitpick? There's so much music throughout this episode. Yeah. And they really also dropped the ball on the theme song. Like, there was no theme song. It was like they had a couple beats and they showed the title card. The original is known for, sure, you don't need to have him in this, you know, dorky kind of music video from the 90s here, but you got to do something. You got to give me a beat. You got to give me some lyrics. Will Smith is a producer. Do a rap. You got to do something here instead of just like, because you have so much music throughout the series. Do something instead of just like Bel-Air.
Yeah, I think they had so much music. I agree with the intro, but I think they had so much music to fill that. You know, we're trying to create a vibe here. This is the slang we're using. This is the tone we're going with. It's all trying to produce that kind of vibe. So
Sam Levinson of Euphoria got a hold of the script and was like, we got to add more music. How much music can we add in? Yeah. But
I will just say, sorry, the last thing I will say about the show, this is a show that I think like this, I don't think this is a show meant for our generation. I think this is like high school, just college, high school age, because a lot of the music they chose, a lot of the slang they're using is definitely around that age group, you know?
So with that being said, you guys gonna keep watching any more?
I might give it one more and see. I'm wondering what the dynamic is going to be once they get the initial, like, they have to have them in a fight. They have to send them to Bel-Air. We have to meet everybody. Now that that's out of the way, what comes next? So I would give it one more and see where it goes, and then from there decide if I want to hold until I hear better or continue.
I might give it one more, but I don't know. I'm hit or miss with it. Maybe if I have time in the future. I don't think it's going to be right away.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I don't know if I even have access to it because Peacock does the first episode. And then if you want to get more, I got to sign up for another level of Peacock. And I'm not sure if I'm ready for that in my life yet. So.
Well, you only get certain content at certain tiers?
I think so. I think the free version, because this is a Peacock original, so I can't watch more Girls Five Eva, even though I want to, or the Saved by the Bell show. It's like it's a...
That's crazy.
I could probably watch one episode of The Office and the first episode of Bel-Air, and that's it, for the free tier. And
that stinks.
But, all right. That is it for this week. We definitely went over, but hey, enjoy it while you can, because we're going to be off for a little bit.
Yeah.
We're gonna recharge, we're gonna refresh, and then when we come back in March, we're gonna be moving to Mondays. All right? Monday nights instead of Tuesday nights, even though tonight was Friday. We're doing Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern on Twitch. Our first show back is going to be Monday, March 7th. And we got a bunch of things to already talk about. 3 shows, big ones that are going to be dropping. The Dropout, Joe versus Carol, and Winning Time. So I'm sure we'll be talking about at least 2, maybe all 3 of those shows. Plus, in March, so many new and returning shows coming out. It's going to be a lot. I mean, just to name a few, we have We Crashed, Life and Beth, Atlanta, Halo maybe, Moon Knight. There's so many things we could talk about. And then we're going to have to do a show of Oscar predictions. We'll have the Good, Bad, and Watchable on. We'll predict the Oscars. And then we got to talk about the results of the Oscars. So much going on in March. Make sure you're following us on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, the blog, doordynasty.com, and of course, Twitch. And as I said, Monday nights, twitch.tv/doordynasty, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can follow us on Twitter, on Instagram at doordynasty, so you can find out what we're talking about and when we're talking about it. But that's it. I got to thank both of you guys for joining me tonight because, again, not only is it a Friday night, but we went long on a Friday night. I couldn't do this show without you. All of my plans changing and the topics changing. Thanks for putting up with it and doing it. Couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time, I'm David Allen.
John Berwick.
And I'm Kyle Bridger.
And that's all we got for Do or Done See. Goodbye, everybody.